$30K payoff. Oh, come on. No, you don't. Could you imagine? What kind of watch are you wearing? Apple Watch. Apple Watch. So thank you everyone for bearing with me here. We had some technical difficulties getting the live streams going on the other platforms, but now we are in business. We are good to go. Good to go, good to go. All right. What's the biggest SUV Mercedes offers, and do you think they will ever have one that competes with the, not sure what you meant. So the biggest one we have is the GLS. The GLS is going to be all new for next year. So model year 2027, calendar year 2026. And word on the street, this is, so far unconfirmed, but what I'm hearing is that that is going to be quite a bit larger than the GLS we have now, so that it should compare directly to the Yukon Tahoe Escalade size. So very excited to find out if that is in fact true, because that would be a game changer for sure. Why do you think G-Wagons hold their value so well? I think the answer is...
Welcome to Benzes and Bow Ties Live.
That's right. Up? Welcome to Benzes and Bow Ties Live. Joe, why do you think G-Wagons hold their value so well? Let's ask Joe W. Auto.
They hold their value well. So I think people, first off, just get trained to market conditions when it comes to vehicles.
Yeah.
For the same reason, heavy depreciation is a certain thing. For certain things, people just kind of get accustomed to it in their mind, and buying patterns feed that. And on the side of the G63, though, you have the buying pattern of people just loving them and wanting them since 2019. And Mercedes has not put production past the demand. So to that point, you have still more of a demand than there is a supply, and because of that, you're going to have over, and they hold their value very well.
Yeah. Look, I mean, the end of the day, it comes down to the most basic economic concept of supply and demand. I mean, the supply has far exceeded the demand has far exceeded the supply for many, many years. Right. I remember in 2018 when the new generation G came out, and let me back up. Before the redesign, G-Wagon demand was, I would say, very normal.
Yep.
You had people that loved them, but they didn't fly off the shelves. In fact, I remember at that time, in my early years with the brand, there were many stores that just felt like they didn't have the clientele to sell them to.
Yep.
Like they struggled with them. Yep. And so it was not uncommon for dealers to be like, hey, I've got an extra G-Wagon. Like, do you want to take this off my hands? I don't have anybody for it.
Yeah.
And back then that was kind of like, all right, we'll try it on. And thankfully this store we always found people for them. Mm-hmm. So we were sort of unknowingly building up this massive bank of historical G-Wagon sales that when the new one came out and they made it a lot more refined, the suspension became much more livable. The technology on the inside was vastly updated from what it had been for a long time. All of a sudden, they went like, I don't know, OG Escalade, where everybody had to have one.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they were like the hottest thing in the world. And by the end of the first model year, so this would have been 2019, I remember us. Were you here at that point? I don't think you were. Were you? Okay. I remember thinking, okay, this can't go on for too much longer. Like I've been around in the business. Yeah. We've been like long enough to know that in the first model year of a new car, a lot of times it'll be like just gangbusters. Everybody's got to have the shiny new toy, but eventually it normalizes. Well, the normalization just never came. It never came.
Correct. And I think for those two reasons, just the supply and the demand is one thing, and obviously the major driving factor of it. But I think the second thing that a lot of people don't talk about unless they've owned them, driven them, it's a Swiss Army knife that genuinely does everything well. Like it is a size SUV that is practical enough, but not too big for daily livability. The suspension is amazing now. The creature comforts that are in them, even on the 19s and 24s, let alone on the 25 and 26, with obviously the keyless go and a couple other creature comforts. Like it's just an amazing, SUV to have and drive, and I think it's a great combination of things.
Yeah.
So.
And I would argue that it has that X factor, which I would describe as there's just nothing quite like it.
Yep.
And it makes people feel good when they drive it because it's like, I don't know how to describe it other than like you just kind of feel like a badass.
Yeah,
when you're
and I
in
think
one.
that's the amount of analog that still exists with that vehicle, right? So it's like you can't get in vehicles like there's just the Defender that I was driving yesterday, that 90s Defender.
Yeah.
People want to feel, or not even maybe so by nature, but just like once they experience it, they're like, oh, this is amazing. Which the heavy doors, the analog locks, the the heaviness, the torque, the weight of the vehicle, everything that combines, it's just like a modern analog vehicle, which is really what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that makes it special. You don't have these, flimsy doors you're getting in out of. Like everything feels rugged, tough, but luxurious at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So to summarize, I get it. There's a lot of people out there that will never be a fan. They might not like the styling. They might think that the price point is ridiculous. They make the Jeep comments. I get all of that.
Mhm.
But they really truly are amazing, and they're worth every penny. And the market continues to say that. And I think that you've got to give credit where credit's due. That we're going now into our 7th model year since the redesign, and the demand just hasn't changed.
Yeah, and for the Jeep comments are valid, except for the fact that people usually, if they say like, "Oh, it's just like a luxurious Jeep," like, yeah, no shit, that's like what it actually is,
Yeah.
And if you have them side by side, if you're comparing one previous to the redesign, much more, I would say, on the Jeep kind of playing field as far as some of the quality of things and
The way it
stuff.
drove and
The way it drove and everything like that. But now, if you compare, a new G63 or the past 7 years of it to a Jeep, you're like, no, there's a noticeable step up here. Yes, it's like a luxurious Jeep, but there's a noticeable, step up here. So, yeah,
Absolutely. Let's see, Jason, what are your thoughts on the new electric GLC? When does it arrive? So, Jason, I am a big fan of that car. I think that the new grille that Mercedes is doing, which is a total throwback to grills of yesteryear, is really well done. And I'm very excited for that car. Now, remember, that is going to be the first, well, the CLA actually that we might get by the end of this year. I'm not sure. I don't know if MB is going to be able to sneak it in or not, but the CLA, the GLC, those will be the first EVs of the new generation of EVs where the styling of that will be in line with the styling of the ICE cars, so the gas cars. So what you're seeing, it debuted as an EV, but that will also be the internal combustion version is going to look like that as well. So I think that they hit a home run with the styling on that.
Yeah.
I really do. And I like that, even though some people might say, okay, there's still some really big screens going on in there, they do have a decent amount of analog and buttons. And I think that they've also been on the record saying that they're going to be doing more of that moving forward, which I think is the right move to have a good mix of both. So I'm a big fan. I think they nailed it. Let's see. Mercedes is not truly amazing. Oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I would have to disagree with you. Market dictates value for sure. I agree with you. Chris, hello. Enjoy your content. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Do you think EVs can survive the winter climates? Yeah, absolutely they can. You have to go into it knowing that you're going to lose some range in the winter. That's just part of the ownership experience, but they're not unusable. In fact, I'm really sad that we're sold out of EQSs because I've been driving one for like 4 years. Like, this is not a joke. I am actually legitimately upset that I'm driving a not EQS. And one of the things that I loved about them, and I will argue this against anybody, an EV in the wintertime, you have to understand, they're very heavy. And on top of that, they have an extremely low center of gravity because you've got the heaviest part of the vehicle, which is the battery, barely off the ground. So heavy, low center of gravity, very good for winter driving. Okay, this is why pickup trucks are not good for winter driving because they aren't as heavy as you might think unless they've got a full payload in the bed, and their center of gravity is very high. So I think I see more pickup trucks spun off the road in the winter than I do anything else.
Oh yeah, especially because people that drive them generally think they're invincible, with a false sense of security driving. Like, oh, it's 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. I can do whatever I want with this thing. It's like, yeah, no, that's not at all how that works. So
Yeah.
still have to drive cautiously too.
So yeah, you're going to lose some range in the wintertime, but their drivability in the winter is amazing. And we've been getting the training for all of our upcoming EVs and what the new technology is for the future. And Mercedes, I can tell you, is doing a ton of work on thermal management to reduce the impact that winter driving is going to have on your range. What do you think about the G580? I've been saying this from day one. I think the G580 is amazing. I think if you do, just Google it, find any car reviewer, any review of that car online, and it's overwhelmingly positive.
And talk to anyone who's bought one or owns them, because there's so many people that you and I have heard from that are longtime G63 clients.
Yep.
That are like, I take this over a G63 every time. Like, I love it from the daily usability. It is a perfect use of an electric vehicle, similar to how Rolls is with the Spectre. Making that electric integrates perfectly.
Yeah, I would say the G580 is the most misunderstood vehicle in existence right now, where public perception is one thing because you've got people that are like, well, it's an EV, so automatically I don't like it. But I don't know anyone who's bought one that has had even a negative thing to say at all.
Yeah, for sure. And then again, you have people that are like, oh, well, they're sitting on lots and this and that. It's like, first off, that can happen for just about any model for overproduction. That's why we talk about that all the time. It's a supply and demand thing. There's ultimately only so many people that are, wanting a $200,000 electric vehicle, and that's in any market. So it's like, hey, Mercedes realized that, they checked it, they got a solution for it.
Yep.
All good.
So my prediction on what you're going to see, we're already seeing it with used car values. Used car EV values have come way up now that we're past the tax credits. And new car EV production for the US is way down. I mean, if you look at our pipeline, we have almost nothing coming. So what I believe is going to happen is, moving forward, you're going to see, now that it's like not politicized anymore, the real demand for EVs is going to make them such that they sell like any other kind of lower production, maybe enthusiast vehicle. And I've had a ton of people asking about the G580s that we have in production, either dealers trying to trade for them, people wanting to custom build them. So I think what we're going to see is the demand for those is going to be really robust now that production has been lowered. So, hello. So is leasing the plan to purchase at any end of lease cheaper than financing for 7 years? So Jason, if your intention is to keep a car for 7 years, do not lease it, buy it. Okay. Leasing is for anybody that keeps a car for 2, 3, 4 years. Okay. If you do keep your cars truly long-term, then don't lease them. But what you can't do is the opposite of what you just said, which is you buy cars and then finance them for 6, 7 years and then are getting a new one every 3 years. That will always end very badly. Dookie, low range in the G580. Yes, I mean, relative to some other EVs, the range is lower, but I think it's still very acceptable. How old are you? 52? No, I'm not 52. I have 2 Macaws, want to trade for a down payment, both 4 months old. I'm not really sure what the value of Macaw is, but I'm sure we could figure it out. Ever made a deal using a down payment with something other than cash or cars, watches, gold, etc.? We haven't. I'm not saying that we wouldn't. We haven't, though. Do you have any tips for somebody who wants to be on the finance side of the car business like F&I? I mean, the best advice I can give anybody that wants to be in this business in any capacity is raise your hand, right? If you're in it already and you want to move into finance, then make sure that the people that you work for know that, right? Colin, what's up?
See you tomorrow.
Is it 7?
In my head, it is.
Wow. You're just advertising to everybody here that Colin comes and goes as he pleases. At least you have a tie on. I guess you sold 2 cars today, so you can go.
Thank you.
All right. How much? What's that?
Corned beef sandwich tomorrow, or patty melt. I know you like
Patty melt, baby. You're doing a great job, man. Texas Car Guy, I appreciate you very much for saying that. Appreciate that. Jeff, caught another live. What's going on, brother? Thanks for stopping by. Who's in the picture with you? That picture is just a picture taken by Slim Aarons. He's a famous photographer. I don't know anybody in the picture. What Mercedes would you recommend that is similar to an ML350? So, Chris, the ML was renamed the GLE in 2016. So if you like the ML, then the GLE is what was previously known as the ML. What is going on? All right. 2021 GLC 300 loaded 29,000 K approximate value. I mean, it'd be easier for me to just actually appraise the car for you. I don't really like to do approximations off the whim. It also depends on what color is it, the status of tires, brakes. Brakes probably don't need to be replaced. That's pretty low miles, but what kind of equipment does it have? Opinion on the GLB 250 Coco. I think the GLB is an excellent way to start with the brand. It's a great size. They have great technology. They're fun, and they won't break the bank, right? So that is, the GLB exists to be an entry point to the brand for people that might have never driven a Mercedes-Benz before. And they're very affordable, much more so than you might think. So any idea when there will be a total redesign of the S-Class? So I'm not confident that it will be a total redesign, but we do have a major facelift coming for next year. So just so everybody's aware, just about every model is due for a complete new generation or major facelift next year. Everything but the E-Class and some of the AMG models. But it's going to be a very exciting year for product. Hopefully we'll get all of that product. Obviously, there's no guarantees that it'll all land next year, but literally just about everything. I mean, we're talking C-Class, GLC, GLA, CLA, GLB, GLE, GLS, S. I mean, just about everything is going to be new next year. So that means that right now, for people that are deal seekers, now is the time to get kind of the last model year of these generations. They are leasing very well, great programs on them, awesome time to lease and get a good deal on one of these cars. Next year will be all the shiny new toys. You can expect that with any new shiny toy, they will be more expensive by virtue of being in high demand for being brand new. Is this the dealership in Whoville? Yes, it is. White Man's very nice nose joke there. How do dealer trades work? Are MB dealers with car customers required to make trades when requested? No, Dusty, they are not required to make a trade. Obviously, all dealerships are encouraged to have good trading relationships if possible, because you never know when you'll need a car that dealership has, right? So dealer trading is a very normal part of the business, but obviously you've got stores that you've got good trade relationships with, some that you might not have relationships with at all. Sometimes geographical things can come into play because obviously there's going to be shipping involved if we've got to bring a car in, and there's a cost associated with that. But no, it's not required. And then, you try to get something back of equal value. Some dealers are easier to trade with, some are harder. But if you've got a model that's very easily replaceable, the trade should be pretty straightforward. If you've got a model that's very difficult to replace, like maybe a CLE 53 AMG or an E53 wagon or a G-Wagon, trading might be a lot more difficult, right? I'm not going to trade, for example, an E53 wagon without getting one in return, because they're very, very scarce, very low production, and I cannot easily replace it. So if I just trade one away and I don't get something of equal value back, then I'm going to hurt my ability to sell that vehicle moving forward. So it's kind of like, think of it like trading in the sports world, right? If you're trading a first round pick, you need to get first round pick value in return. Jeff, thoughts on the CLE 53 AMG? I'm a huge fan, absolute home run car from Mercedes-Benz. The styling is amazing. They've been flying off the shelves. It's just truly an amazing car. Love the way they look. But thank you to everybody who is here. Thanks to everyone who's hanging out today. I do appreciate it. If you could, tap the screen, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not following already, would love and appreciate a follow. And I just do appreciate everyone hanging out and being here. Tiffany, best option for a first-time MB buyer. Love hatchbacks, but nothing huge. I have a Konya right now, but want to upgrade in the future. So, Tiffany, you might look at a GLA or a GLB. I think you'd be happy with either. Great entry to the brand and would fit that description that you're discussing there. Donald, do you need anything, buddy? Okay. Yep. What you got?
So his
This was on what, GLE? Oh, this was the locate that we're.
Well, yes, but they want a deal. It said the companies you want a deal that you
Right. We looked at a couple different cars. Yeah.
and black one's out on loan right now, but that was a very base car in medical equipment thing. She really liked the sound like great. It's got 7,069 miles on it.
Right.
So today, I followed up. He said, "Thanks, appreciate the assistance. Numbers are super helpful." Sorting it all out. We're definitely mulling everything. Everyone liked yours review a lot. And then 10 minutes ago, how aggressive can you get on the gray one with 7,000 miles? Which, by the way, I already had the conversation. We get super aggressive. We get go.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to reset it. This Brian, for our prior conversation, we do put our best number out there the first time.
Yep.
Because really the black one.
Yeah, look, with these demos, when they've got miles on them, you've got certain people out there that just want to play that game of, well, I view it as a used car, and if that's fine, if that's how you view it, then fine. There are plenty of people that don't.
That's fine. That's even so 7,000 off, which on a 26, what are we getting off on a GLE? Probably what?
About half of that. About
3,500.
Yeah. So, and given the fact that the miles don't penalize you on the lease, I get it. Like, that's a very popular argument for people to make is, oh, it's a used car. Well, you can lease it. So no, it's not. Right. Is Mercedes moving to subscription-based model like Toyota so there's some subscription for certain features in the cars that you can upgrade to, but CarPlay, as of now, not one of them. GPS, not one of them either. The car either has it or you can buy it. Wow, Mark is saying you're not a real closer, Don. Real closers don't need to come into your office, just get it done. Well, Mark, you know what?
Sweet. We just like to keep our team updated.
Sometimes it's good to just talk things through, right? Do you order the cars? Yes, I generally build most of the cars that come in for stock. Are they going to make an E450 AMG wagon? Well, the E450 is the Mercedes variant of the wagon, and you can get some upgraded wheels, but no, they're not going to. The E53 is the AMG version of the E450, if that makes sense. Got my first Benz from Frisco last month. Congratulations. Hopefully it was a good experience. What time do you guys close over there? We close at 7. Doug is an economic major from Kent State. Close, Chris. I am an econ major, but I went to Ohio State, actually. What's the best CPO value for a long-term purchase? Well, our CPO is a great program. It's an unlimited mileage warranty. So your best value, it's hard to answer. Really, it's going to be what car makes most sense to you. But buying a luxury car at, first under the CPO program is a fantastic price almost always. So good value all around there. Auto Social Gal almost went to Ohio State. Very nice. Great school. I really enjoyed it. What do you say when I can't get an out the door price? I would say that you need to stop talking to that dealership. That is insane. It's 2025. If a dealership won't give you an out the door price, move on. I don't know what benefit there is to arguing with them. They're showing you what it's going to be like to do business with them, and it's not good. So, Lex, what's the out the door price? An out the door price is the selling price of the vehicle plus taxes and fees. And the reason it's important is that you want to make sure that dealership does not have any shenanigans going on. There are a lot of dealerships out there that will build in bogus fees or aftermarket products that you did not ask for. They'll claim, oh, well, we already put wax on the car, or we already, tinted the windows, or a fortune teller told the car's fortune and you got to pay for that, right? I mean, any ridiculous, obnoxious thing that you did not ask for, if it's on the car already and they try to get you to pay for it, then that's not cool, right? But you're not going to know that without getting a breakdown, a full worksheet showing all the breakdown of what's going into that transaction. So a selling price of the vehicle only gets you so far, right? Until you can see the full breakdown, you don't know if you're getting a good deal. CPO vehicles can also be leased, not just financed, correct. So Nelson, only if they are former loaner cars. Okay. So if they are CVPs, which is a courtesy vehicle program, then they are eligible to be leased, but traditional used CPO cars cannot be. Do you see digital retail helping with that transparency? Well, absolutely, Richard. I mean, they definitely do. But again, you could still build all of that into digital retail tools. And so, yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. If we want to stop bad behavior in the car business, then that has to be a collective effort, right? If people keep rewarding dealerships that play these games by buying cars from them, then they will continue to do it. And so that is why I always encourage people to really just take a couple minutes to figure out where you want to do business and make it more about that and less about the car, right? For us, if we don't have the car you want, we will find it. That is a very doable thing, okay? So what happens is a lot of people, they find the car they want, and then no matter where it is, they just, oh, well, okay, that's where it is, so that's what I'm going to do business with. And then they get ripped off because they get caught up in the car. They get enamored with the car. I want the car, and so whatever I'll just deal with the experience, right? They talk themselves into it. That's what encourages this bad behavior. Okay, find a dealer that doesn't play games, that's transparent, that's going to give you the price without you begging for it, will give you a full breakdown, and then have them help you, okay? Like everything that we do here is all about making it easy and fun to buy a car. That is what motivates us. That is what gets me out of bed every day, is how can I change people's mind about what it is to buy a car? I want to prove to as many people as I can that it doesn't have to suck, because it doesn't. Not every dealer has that mentality, okay? And if you choose the random dealership that has the car you want, there's a better than good chance, unfortunately, that you might get the runaround. So find a dealer that wants to make it easy for you, and then tell them what you want and help them, have them find it for you. So yes, Texas Car Guide digital retailing tools definitely help keep transparency, but dealers can still be transparent and be charging you bogus fees all at the same time. Any deals on the C63S? Yes. Mike, 30,000 miles per year on a lease? Absolutely, Mike. In fact, one of probably the highest mileage lease that I have done in the last several years was 55,000 mile per year lease, and I did it with somebody that found us on Facebook. Right, a client down in Texas who was in a nasty negative equity situation and drove a ton of miles a year, and we got him into a lease on a former demo that was certified, unlimited mileage warranty. I mean, it's the absolute cheat code, right? If you drive a lot of miles, get a demo, we'll certify it for you. Boom, you're good to go. The way you treat people and the experience sells your dealership and then the car. Yeah, absolutely, Tyler. I think that a lot of people in the car business make it all about the car. They think that it's all about just anything to get a sale. And look, I get it. Okay, that's how most of us were taught in the car business, right? Anything to get the deal. And I won't be, I'm very forward about this. My first 3 years in the business, I was young. I was just trying to sell cars, right? It took me several years to learn this really is a relationship business. It's a people business. And if you take care of people and you play the long game, then they will keep coming back to you. They'll send their friends. They'll buy more cars. That's what it's all about, right? Do the right thing. Take care of people. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate that. Son Italiana, thank you. Appreciate that very much. Thoughts on power sports sales? I think it's awesome. Power sports sales they're booming. And I mean, what fun would that be? I mean, you've got so many things to sell there: motorcycles, side-by-sides, boats, jet skis. I mean, it's amazing. Miguel Sanchez, well said. I appreciate that. Would you consider a 4.2% rate or a 00175 money factor for a GLE lease? So I would not. I get it. People get really hung up on money factors. I wouldn't pay too much attention to money factors if the deal is a comfortable payment. There's just no way to say this other than money factors are generally pretty arbitrary, but comparing them to a financing rate defeats the purpose. It needs to be about how long do you keep the car, okay? The 4.2% rate won't matter if you're going to do a 72-month loan and you only keep your cars for 2-3 years. You're going to end up in a nasty situation, right? It's just simplify it. Do I keep cars for 2, 3, 4 years? Then lease. Is the money factor reasonable? The residual, does it fit my budget? Great. If you keep cars for a long time, then buy them and look for the best APR that you can get. Okay. But I think that too many people focus their attention on the wrong things, and then they make bad decisions as a result of it. For example, G-Wagon, outrageously high money factor, because it can be. That doesn't mean that it's a bad car to lease. No, if you're going to keep it for a couple of years, you can lease it, and then you can pocket a whole bunch of equity at the end. Anyway, Mike, how do I email you? So if you go to my profile, go to the link in my bio, and the first link on there is work with me and my team. Send the information there. That is the best way to get started with us. And that way I've got my whole team that can help me to help you. And I want to be involved in every deal, of course. But if you reach out to me directly, there's a good chance that I will be delayed in getting back to you. There's too many avenues. The dealership is priority number one, right? I've got a whole sales team here that I oversee. And so it's much easier when they're coming to me with the situation that you've got, and we can start working it that way. Love Kia, hated my Forte. Wife has a Sportage. We love it. Oh, he's responding to somebody else. Yeah, Kia's doing awesome. Kia's really come a long way. Let's see, Michael, this is exactly why I tuned in. Awesome, Michael, I appreciate that. John, I'm there, negative at 9,800, screwed by not leasing. Yeah, again, it's just really simple. By the way, don't let anybody shame you. If you want to get a new car or a car new to you every 3-4 years, that's okay. Don't let people give you a hard time about that. Just make sure that you lease it. Don't buy it, right? I mean, that's what I see over and over again is people who buy cars because they've been told, oh, don't lease, you're just renting it. No, leasing is just an alternative form of financing. Okay, financing it for 7 years and not paying it off, you don't own anything. Let's just be real about that, okay? If you get a new car or a car new to you every couple of years, just be honest with yourself and do it in the way that will prevent you from crazy negative equity. If you keep cars forever, and some of you do, then buy them, right? There's nothing wrong with that. So what car do you drive? So right now I drive a GLE 580, but I wish that I had an EQS SUV because that was my favorite. Been driving those for the last several years. Josh, Ford sales for 8 years and everything is more digital now by tenfold with how markets are shifting. Absolutely. Nelson, lease from Doug. Yeah, I love it, Nelson. Let's do it. Buy what you want and how you want it. Just do it responsibly, of course. The only reason I talk about leasing as much as I do is because it's not a benefit to me. Okay. I just want to be super clear about that. Well, the benefit to me is that you're not in a bad situation when we talk next. But regardless of how the majority of people buy a car, whether they pay cash, whether they lease, whether they finance, the majority of people, let me just be clear about the majority, that means more than half, get a new car or a car new to them within 3 years. That's the statistic. Okay. So the minority of people don't. They keep their cars forever. Those are the people that are always loudest in my comment sections. I'm not talking to you. Go ahead and buy your cars. The majority of people, if you pay cash, still going to talk to you in 2 to 3 years. If you finance it, still going to talk to you in 3 years. If you lease it, still going to talk to you in 2 or 3 years. So just lease it so that in 2 or 3 years, you're not flipped and pissed off about how much value your car lost. That's all I'm trying to say. So I got to wrap it up because I do need to hop off for the evening and head home. But I really appreciate all of you being here, and we'll try to get back in the rhythm of doing these every night. And thank you to anybody who's a new follower tonight. I appreciate that very much. And anybody that wants to work with me and the team, explore some options, we would love that. Just go to the link in my bio and go to the Work with Doug and team. Put your information there, and we will be all over it. So thank you so much. Have a fantastic evening, and until next time, talk to you soon.